5 witnesses testified this week, 2 former employees, a Los Angeles police officer, fire department investigator, and a celebrity stylist. The latest witness on the stand testifying under the pseudonym Mia, recounting her time as Combs's former assistant.
Hi, welcome back to Rachel Reveals. Today we're going straight into day 2 of Mia's testimony, and no, this wasn't emotional hearsay or vague accusations. This was specific and brutal, and this was all under oath. She says he threatened her, trapped her, and broke her. And now for the first time, we're seeing the receipts. When Mia first started working for Diddy, she says it felt like family. That's the word everyone used, family. She wasn't just another assistant. She was close to Cassie. She was dating Matt, one of the sound engineers. But despite that, she says it was hard to see him. They shared an apartment, but were never there at the same time. Then came the trip to South Africa. Mia says Diddy told her to go with Cassie while she filmed a movie. Cassie had just found out Diddy was cheating on her with Gina. According to Mia, Cassie was devastated. That's when things shifted. Mia says Diddy started calling constantly. When she stopped answering, the messages escalated. He allegedly threatened to fire her, then threatened to kill her. She says she felt stuck, scared, and completely powerless. At one point, a manager messaged her directly, "Call him now or you don't have a job." She didn't call. Instead, she texted back that she'd been asleep. She told the court she was having anxiety attacks and couldn't sleep through the night. From the outside, she was still part of the team. On the inside, she says she was falling apart. Mia says the messages from Diddy didn't stop. They got more aggressive and more personal. She showed the court screenshots from old phones. One message read, "If you don't call me in 2 minutes, I'm going to tell everything. You're fired." According to Mia, everything meant telling Cassie personal information, likely about a show Mia had written based on her own experiences working as an assistant. She says it was the most press she ever got. Diddy knew that and threatened to ruin it. The text kept coming. "Call me now. Now. Don't ever call me again." Mia told the jury she was confused. First, he told her to come back. Then he told her to stay. She says she couldn't afford to change the flight on her own. And when she asked for help covering it, she apologized in the same message. She ended it with, "At the end of the day, I love you." When asked why she wrote that, her answer was simple: "Because I worked for him." Mia said everything revolved around Diddy. Whether she could stay, leave, or even ask questions, all of it depended on him. And when she stopped responding, he cut her off. Next came HR, and the punishment that followed. After South Africa, Mia says she returned to work in Diddy's Los Angeles office. But everything had changed. She had less access to him, and without his approval, she couldn't move forward with anything. She told the court it made the job almost impossible. Then HR stepped in. On March 31st, 2011, Mia was suspended without pay. The official reason? Insubordination. But she says what really happened was this. Diddy walked in, saw something he didn't like, started yelling, and ordered her suspension on the spot. It wasn't the first time. She shared another email from just a week earlier, March 25th, where an employee named D-Rock asked her what happened. Mia replied, "He went crazy about his shirt." She says she'd asked for a heads up before Diddy returned to the office, just so she could avoid another blow-up. It didn't work. She told the jury that these suspensions didn't come with proper documentation. She didn't even know what rule she had supposedly broken. All she felt was fear and shame. When asked if she ever thought about quitting, she said, "That wasn't a thought. I had tried to run away before, and it didn't work." The prosecution asked if she thought she could get another job. Her answer? No. He would have made sure I couldn't. Which brings us to the moment she says she did try to escape, and why it failed. Mia told the court that the only time she seriously tried to get away was over New Year's, from 2010 to 2011, during a trip to St. Bart's. She was on a yacht with Diddy, Kim Porter, the kids, and others. Diddy asked her to count the money in the safe. That wasn't her job. It was security's. But she did it anyway. She says he started yelling at her for counting too slowly. Then he exploded. "You better learn to walk on water like Jesus." "Get the bleep out of here." That's when she decided to run. She asked the yacht crew to take her to land. They agreed, but a storm made it dangerous. She ended up hiding on the 3rd floor of the boat. Kim Porter found her. Mia says Kim tried to calm her down, told her not to worry. But when she saw Diddy approaching, she panicked. She ran again, this time hiding in a crew cabin. Eventually, the crew took her to shore in a tender boat. She thought she was free. But then came the call. Diddy's staff told her to come back, and she had no choice. Her passport was still on the boat, in their hands. She says she was put in a car and sent to meet Diddy at the airport. On the way there, she heard him on a call yelling that she needed to be suspended again, making up a story to justify it. The prosecution asked her, "Were you able to leave the country?" She answered, "No." From that point on, she says, leaving wasn't just hard, it was dangerous. Mia continued working for Diddy until 2017. At that point, she says she was producing the Bad Boy documentary, one of the few projects she was proud of. That's when she says she got a call from Brian Offit. According to Mia, Brian told her that Diddy had decided to shut down Revolt Films, the same company she was working for. She says she was shocked because, in her words, Revolt Films was the only company that made money that year. She thought she had done something wrong. She asked about severance. Brian told her they'd work something out, but it was the holidays, meaning no answers, no timeline. She kept working on the documentary for a few more months. But by spring, she says she was ignoring calls, crying herself to sleep, and completely overwhelmed. Then she got an employment attorney. Then came silence. Eventually, a mediation was proposed. Her lawyers asked for $10 million. Mia says she didn't come up with that number. In the end, she received $200,000, split between herself and her lawyers. When asked what the payment was for, she said, "Unpaid bonuses, out-of-pocket expenses. Nothing more." And when the prosecution asked if she'd give the money back just to have it all undone, she said yes, without hesitation. After Cassie filed her lawsuit in November 2023, Mia says she heard from someone she hadn't spoken to in years, D-Rock, one of Diddy's longtime associates. She used to call him a big brother. He messaged her, "How are you?" She responded with excitement, but immediately realized something was off. He told her the news coverage was crazy and tried to downplay it all, saying it was just normal fighting. Then he said something that made Mia stop cold. "Puff misses you." She says her first thought was, "Oh my God, they're checking if I'm going to talk." After that call, Diddy himself reached out. Mia says she was so triggered, she physically threw her phone behind the couch and ran out of the room. But it didn't stop. In February 2024, Diddy texted her again. "Call me when you have 10 minutes, love." Then another, "I need my memory jogged." She didn't reply. She didn't want contact. But D-Rock kept messaging too, asking how he could send her something. Mia says she assumed he meant money. She declined. She believed it was about one thing, figuring out whether she was a threat, and if she was going to testify. When the defense took over, they went straight for Mia's credibility. They didn't dispute that she worked for Diddy. Instead, they focused on what she posted after the alleged abuse. They pulled up old social media, photos, captions, videos, showing her smiling, traveling, and publicly praising Diddy years after she said the worst things happened. Posts where she called him family, a scrapbook she made for his birthday, captions like, "Thank you for being my friend," and "extended family for life." They even showed a video she appeared in, where Diddy pretends to deliver her baby, and asked why she'd participate in something like that if she was being traumatized by him. Mia didn't deny making the posts. She said it was complicated, that the relationship was filled with highs and lows, that there were moments where she felt safe, or at least safer, and tried to hold on to those. She told the court, "When he was calling me his best friend, I wasn't afraid of him." The defense pressed harder. They asked, "How could you post these things if he violated you the way you say he did?" Mia's answer was simple. "You can ask my therapist." She said she was isolated, that social media was part of the job, and that back then, people didn't talk about trauma online. They covered it up. The courtroom was quiet. And then came the final, most difficult part of her testimony. In the final stretch of testimony, Mia talked about what she lives with now. She told the jury she doesn't work, that she suffers from complex PTSD. Simple things, like hearing her name across a room or getting an email, can send her into a spiral. She said she second-guesses everything, triple-checks her tone, feels like she's always about to get in trouble. When asked directly who caused it, her answer was clear: Puff. Then came one of the most serious moments. The prosecution read old messages where Mia said she wanted to end her life. She confirmed them. At the time, she believed her life was over. And no, she didn't think she could just quit. In her words, "I was around them 24 hours a day. This was all I knew." The defense tried to push back, asking why she didn't leave, why she made a scrapbook, why she kept in touch with people tied to Diddy. Her answer? It wasn't simple. It was psychological. She said no one made her post those things. But at the time, it was survival. And by the time she realized how deep it went, the damage was already done. The day ended there, after hours of testimony, cross-examination, and a courtroom left to sit with everything that had just been said. By the end of the day, the defense had one goal: make the jury question everything Mia said. They pulled up post after post, birthday tributes, inside jokes, photos from trips, shows, even intimate moments, all showing Mia not just working with Diddy, but smiling beside him, laughing, tagging him, calling him a mentor. They asked, "You're saying the man in all these pictures is the one who ruined your life?" Mia didn't back down. She admitted the posts looked strange. She admitted the scrapbook was real, the captions were real. But so was the fear. She said, "I wasn't posting my trauma. I was trying to survive it." When the defense asked why she stayed, why she never reported him back then, she looked at the jury and said, "Because it wouldn't have mattered. He had the power. I didn't." The prosecution objected again. The judge sustained it, but the point had already been made. Mia's credibility had been attacked from every angle, and she still didn't change her story. Mia said what she needed to say, under oath, in front of a judge, with the defense tearing apart every detail of her past. Some people believe her, others don't. But no one can deny this. She showed up, and she didn't flinch. Now it's up to the jury to decide what's real and what's not. But you don't have to wait for the verdict. What do you think? Is Mia telling the truth? Or is this all just a calculated takedown of one of the most powerful men in music? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This trial is far from over, and Rachel Reveals will be here for every moment of it. See you next time.